I took the photos that you guys tweeted at me, and I am going to be editing them today. Without further ado, let's move on to photo number 2. Hope Arthur's lovely photo. Her Instagram handle is Sarepta Music. Sarepta, am I saying that right? Let's do our quick analysis first of the photo. First thing I would say is the lighting is a little bit on the darker side for this one. I always like to see where the twinkle of the lighting is coming from when it's in your eye. And I could see that you kind of have like an overhead side, which means it's giving you a lot of shine on the forehead and the bridge of your nose, as opposed to lighting your face completely. That's also creating kind of a harsher shadow behind you. So a couple of things you can do is step a little bit further away from the wall or whatever backdrop you have. That makes it easier to edit and also diffuse your light. Second thing is, if you have a separate light, you can actually try lighting up your background, kind of like how I have it right now. If I turn off this light really quick, then my background completely darkens and I'm the main focus. However, if I want everything to light up, that's how you kind of light up the background and gets rid of all the shadows. Right now I have 2 lights on either side of me at a 45-degree angle, which cancels out all the shadows behind me, and I'm significantly far away from the background, so you don't really see the shadows. You can see how close I am to the background. So with your photo, I can see that there is a little bit of a diffusion of the shadow, so it's not that harsh, but you're not very far away from it because I can see that there's not much distance between you and the shadow. So as a point of improvement, a little bit more lighting, a little bit closer and more diffused so it doesn't hit your forehead as harshly. And then when you're photographing, you'll look more elongated if it's a little bit of a lower angle. With that being said, let's go straight into the editing. To start, I'm going to be cropping your photo in just enough to make sure that your face is centered. I could definitely try to crop it so that you are on the far side, so I could make it more artistic and do this. That gives you space to have some text, but probably for social media purposes, I'm just going to bring it back so that you are fully in the center and we're not going to crop off that beautiful little dainty flower above your head. I'm going to just adjust a little bit so I feel like optically you are centered. It takes a little bit of finagling. I'm trying to make sure that your whole head is centered rather than just your face, and that's why when I do this, and you can see the rule of thirds, you're actually off a little bit to the side, but that's okay because your hair has a lot of volume to it. Perfect. Now we want to go into the skin. If I zoom in a little bit, then I can see that there's a little bit of graininess in the photo, and what that really just means is that there's too little lighting for your camera to pick up enough details. Even if I'm photographing on my phone, front camera or back camera, if I have substantial amount of lighting, you're actually helping the camera be able to sharpen the image a little bit more because it's able to see more details. Allow yourself to have ample lighting in order for you to pick up the most details in your makeup. Here we have a couple of hair strands. I'm going to just use my Gaussian blur tool in order to get rid of that. This tool will also help kind of remove some shine from the forehead. I'm just cloning the other parts of your forehead to get rid of the hairs. Don't forget the background. What you don't want to do is brighten just your shadows and then nothing else. It takes a lot of skill to be able to completely cancel out a shadow. It could look very wonky, just not going to match the overall photo. Now we're going to move on to some dodging and burning. I want to lighten up those eyes a little bit. Again, not so much that it's going to make it look really weird. I'm going to make sure you can see the sparkles. I want to lighten up the flowers around your eyes so that it actually helps the black become more intense. I'm going to highlight those lovely collarbones. Now we're going to burn, and the first thing is the eyes. Anytime there's any black in the photo, I like to just intensify and make sure it's very matte. Now I think this photo would really benefit from having some colored background. You're actually at such an advantage because of the fact that you didn't use just a white wall. You actually have a grayed out wall, and this actually can be achieved if you do have a white wall and you just kind of like lowered the lights a little bit. What I would recommend next time is obviously being a little bit further in front so that the gray is more intensified, and then you can really easily color in the background. I have this video also to show you how to color in your background just using Photoshop. This is the option with and without the background. I personally think the background adds a lot to it. Although it does cover the flowers, I think that's a necessary evil. And finally, I'm going to add that gradient map. So I'm going to save that, and then I'm going to pop that into Lightroom. Bump up in exposure because the overall photo is a little dark. I will say I want more clarity because it is quite a blurry or grainy photo. If you bring up the shadows a little bit, it kind of like highlights, shows more of your hair. Bring down the highlights actually because there was too much on the forehead, and that's going to counterbalance the fact that we're making the photo just a bit brighter as well. I don't want to change like the color of the makeup. I just want to change the flower so it's matching the lips better. Let's go before and after. Oof, much nicer. Yes. Yes. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, enough getting excited by my own work. Well, it's your work technically. I just touched it a little bit. That sounds weird. I love editing. This is before and this is after.
Boba, tell people to subscribe. Please subscribe, everybody, or else you'll make Shindy very sad. Boba, do you like the photos? Look, which one do you like? Do you like Mommy's editing? No? Boba's sleepy. I put him to sleep.